Listen, there's no such thing as consistent 50x returns. Really, if you're owning Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, whatever, you'll do fine. But that's not good enough for them. To have another 5 or 10x from there is not good enough for them. So they are looking for something. But I think you're right. The sense is that they will stop looking under this particular pile. Yes, they might find memes, whether it's Pepe or whether it's Doge or whatever, that survives and does well. But I'm not entirely convinced that meme coins will be the great attraction any longer. Yeah. So if we go back to meme coins 9 months ago, you could make some money. They would go from a low market cap and then maybe would they go to $1 billion. And people had a real chance. And then more and more issuance came and more kind of insiders were part of it. And it just became this endless slew of new issuance, of which the people would get out after day 5 and then day 3 and then day 2 and then hour 5 and then hour 2 and then hour 1 and then 30 seconds after launch. So they've got faster and faster and faster and faster and more and more and more of them, that what we've done is erode all the opportunity out of the whole thing.
Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal says that Bitcoin and other major altcoins are looking strong despite the volatility in the cryptocurrency markets. Paul claims that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Sui are all printing bullish patterns on their higher time frame charts. We are still in the midst of the biggest macroeconomic trade of all time. All the shaking and fear, uncertainty, and timeline doubt is just noise. All it takes to catch it is not being too far off the risk curve, not using the leverage, and having the ability to be patient and take a step back. It is a puzzle, and also sad to see so many people pessimistic and nervous about crypto when Bitcoin looks like this. According to Raoul Pal, instead of looking for the next 50x focus on Sui, Solana, and other big coins. Before we move forward, if you want to stay updated with the latest crypto events and news, you can subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now let's get back to Raoul Pal's view on Solana and the overall crypto market.
So how we create network value is either by number of active users, or it's also the total value transacted on a particular chain. That combination explains the value of these networks. So Bitcoin has big size transactions and a lot of users, which is why it's the most valuable. ETH has smaller size, but lots of users. And it all flows from that. So real world assets outside of stablecoins tend to be larger single transactions. So it's a high value, but only one or a few nodes in the network are using it. So yes, they're good, but they're not everything. So they add value. Gaming, on the other hand, much smaller values, gigantic volume size. Mm-hmm. So there is a balance between all of this. Now, over time, we will see the entire financial system go onto blockchain rails anyway. So it's not just the tokenization of real world assets, more so the hyper efficiency of putting equities, all bonds, everything on chain as an instant settlement system, proof of ownership, custody. You get rid of so many middlemen. So that's coming, and those markets are trillions upon trillions of dollars. As we all know, the US has trillions upon trillions of debt to roll over, as do the Chinese, as do the Japanese, as do the Europeans, as do the British, as do the Canadians. And they're going to have to bring rates lower and increase liquidity to do it.
Right.
And everybody knows liquidity is actually the largest driver of asset prices.
Cryptocurrency market capitalization fell 8% on the day, falling below $3.1 trillion on February 25th. It was the lowest level markets have seen since mid-November, erasing nearly all of the gains since Donald Trump's election victory. Total market capitalization is now teetering on long-term support levels, and a drop below $3 trillion would see these levels broken and potentially spell the end of the bull market. CoinGlass reported that over 314,000 traders were liquidated in the past 24 hours, worth nearly $1 billion. Over 90% of the liquidations were long positions, and the largest single liquidation order occurring on BitMEX with $10 million worth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin fell over 5% in a matter of hours, from $96,000 to $91,000, its lowest level since mid-January. Ethereum lost around 10% and fell back below $2,500. However, it has shown little sign of recovery. Altcoins suffered double-digit losses for Solana, which fell more than 50% in just over a month after the meme bubble burst. Analysts are generally unfazed, having seen this market behavior many times before. Bitcoin's fear and greed index fell to its lowest level since September, hitting extreme fear at 25 on Tuesday after neutral readings for the past week or so. On the plus side, there have been several similar market crashes in recent months, including a 7.5% drop on December 9th, a 10% drop on December 19th, and a 7.5% drop on January 7th, and an 8% drop on February 2nd, from which markets never recovered. Raoul Pal stressed that such massive declines have occurred in previous cycles and are perfectly normal. Raoul Pal made a bold prediction: in just 2 weeks, we will witness the biggest altcoin explosion in history. Below are the highlights and a detailed analysis of the forecast as well as the current market context. Bitcoin, the giant of the cryptocurrency market, is currently trading below $100,000. Although it hit an all-time high of $109,000 last month, the prolonged corrective trend has left many investors disappointed and worried that prices will fall to the support level of around $94,200. Paul believes that such price drops are completely natural signs of the market cycle. History has shown that after major corrections, Bitcoin usually experiences an upswing. According to Paul, the probability that the market has passed the current correction peak is around 70%, which opens up opportunities for Bitcoin to break old price patterns and enter a strong growth phase. According to Paul, altcoins with strong communities will be the winners in the next phase. Paul describes the next phase of the market as the banana zone, a period where altcoins will experience explosive growth. However, he also emphasizes that patience is key, as altcoins typically only explode when liquidity really changes, and the next 2 weeks could be a turning point. In this context, investors should closely monitor Bitcoin developments, global monetary policies, as well as macroeconomic signals to make informed decisions. The cryptocurrency market is always volatile, and patience and deep understanding will be the key to seize opportunities in decisive phases like the one ahead. Paul drew parallels between the performance of the cryptocurrency market in 2025 and 2017. According to Paul, the macro structure is very similar. At the time, Bitcoin expressed a total of 5 major pullbacks. These pullbacks usually lasted between 2 to 3 months before the cryptocurrency reached new highs. Meanwhile, altcoins typically experienced major corrections of up to 65%. In the end, those pullbacks ended up being just noise, according to Paul. The analyst said to go do something more constructive than staring at the screen. Paul lost patience in 2017 and decided to sell his Bitcoins in May 2017. He claimed that his reasons for owning the cryptocurrency had diminished. Later in the year, the cryptocurrency experienced an impressive rally, reaching almost $20,000, a price level it failed to reach until late 2020. In December, the cryptocurrency managed to break through the $100,000 level for the first time. However, Bitcoin came very close to reclaiming the aforementioned level. However, the devastating $1.4 billion hack of Bybit put a damper on the bull's work. According to a recent report by Bloomberg, altcoins are currently suffering from the negative sentiment following several meme coin failures.